All right, welcome everyone. Today, we are diving deep into an absolutely epic story of faith, of perseverance against all odds, and of divine intervention. This is the story of Prophet Nuh and his great ark. So that really is the heart of the story, isn't it? How does a single person hold on to their belief for nearly 1,000 years while facing constant mockery, just to end up saving the world? It's a question that really tests the limits of what we think is possible. So let's jump in and see how this incredible story unfolds. So let's start at the beginning. Our story kicks off with a prophet's mission, a divine calling that comes at a time when the world had, well, pretty much lost its way entirely. Okay, so to really get the picture here, you have to imagine we're about 1,000 years after Adam. The planet's population has exploded, but over generations, something went wrong. People were tricked by Shaitan, the evil one, and they'd started worshiping idols made of stone and wood instead of the one true God. It's into this world, a world that has forgotten its creator, that Allah sends Prophet Nuh with a really crucial mission. And what's so powerful about his message is just how simple it was. It wasn't some long, complicated philosophy. It was a direct, clear plea to his people. Fear Allah and do what Allah says. A fundamental call to just come back to the right path. Now, Nuh wasn't just some guy yelling on a street corner. He was this incredibly patient and skilled speaker. He didn't just command, he reasoned with people. He'd point to the amazing world around them, the sun, the moon, the stars, the rivers, the mountains. And he'd say, look, he did all this for you, and for you alone. He was trying to get them to see the signs right in front of their faces. But still, they just refused to listen. But all that beautiful reasoning, it was met with centuries of just flat-out rejection. And this next part of the story, well, it's a massive test of one man's unwavering patience. It's truly hard to comprehend. I mean, just think about this number for a second. 950 years. For 9.5 centuries, Nuh kept preaching that same simple message. Can you even imagine dedicating almost an entire millennium to a single, thankless task, day in and day out, with almost nobody listening? It's just staggering. And the things they said to him, it wasn't just no thanks. They would mock him, saying things like, you are just another man, and we think that you are lying. Go away and leave us alone. The rejection was personal, it was harsh, and it was constant. And it wasn't just words, The opposition got physical. He was attacked. People threw stones at him. They beat him with sticks, just for trying to guide them. And yet, through all of that, day and night, he never gave up. He just kept calling them back to the right path. So after all this time, after centuries of trying, the story takes this massive, dramatic turn. A divine plan is finally revealed, and a path to salvation, a path involving a great ship, at last appears. Then one night, as Nuh was praying, the message came, and this time it was different. The time for warnings, it was over. A punishment was coming for the whole world. But, and this is key, it also came with a promise of escape for the very few who had kept their faith. And the plan that was revealed? It was absolutely massive, a real test of faith. Step 1, plant trees. Not just for a season, but a project that would take over 100 years to mature. Step 2, use that wood to build a gigantic ship. And finally, step 3, gather the believers and pairs of every animal to get ready for the flood. So, with this divine blueprint in hand, they actually started building the ark. And this was a true act of faith, especially when everyone around them thought they were crazy. And this wasn't just some big boat. I mean, think about it. It was a gigantic vessel being built on top of a mountain, miles and miles from any sea. It even had this incredible design with 3 distinct levels, one for the birds, one for the humans, and one for all the other animals. So you have this incredible split screen, right? On one side, you've got Nuh, his family, and this tiny group of believers working hard day and night, sawing wood, hammering nails. And on the other side, you just have the disbelievers, standing around, laughing, and making fun of this old man building a giant ship in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so the ark is built, the believers are ready, and now we get to the climax of the entire story. The world is about to be submerged. Everything has been building to this moment. And the sign that it was all about to begin, it wasn't a crack of thunder or a dark cloud. No, it was something much, much weirder. Water started bubbling up and pouring out of the stove in Nuh's own kitchen. That was the signal. The time had come. In the middle of all this chaos, there's this really personal tragedy playing out. As the water is rising, Nuh is pleading with his own family to get on the ship. But tragically, one of his sons, along with one of his wives, refused. His son just arrogantly said he'd climb a mountain to save himself. He rejected salvation from his own father. But here's the thing. No mountain was high enough. A huge wave, a wave described as being bigger than the very mountain they were standing on, just came crashing down. And in an instant, it washed away Nuh's son, his wife, and every single one of the disbelievers who had spent centuries laughing and mocking. And just like that, after all the destruction, there's silence and a new beginning. The story now shifts to the journey of the survivors, floating on the water, on their way to a completely cleansed earth. When you look at the numbers, it's pretty staggering. After almost 1,000 years of preaching, how many people made it onto the ark? About 80. Just 80 people. And for 150 days, this tiny community, along with the whole animal kingdom, just floated on this endless ocean, waiting for the water to finally go down. So, after 5 long months at sea, Nuh starts looking for land. First, he sends out a crow, but it never comes back. Then, a while later, he sends out a dove, and this time it returns, and in its beak is an olive branch, that timeless symbol of peace and a new start. They knew land was close, and soon enough, the ark came to a gentle stop on top of Mount Judy. And the moment they stepped onto dry land, can you even imagine? The animals were set free to fill the earth again, and the very first thing Nuh and the believers did was fall to the ground in prostration, just thanking God for saving them. This wasn't just the end of a trip, it was a brand new beginning for the entire human race. And that's where the story leaves us. An epic journey is over, and a new world has begun. So it really makes you think, right? What is the ultimate message here? Is it about having faith when no one else does? Is it about patience? Or maybe the consequences of ignoring the truth? That's definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks so much for joining me for this story.